Hi guys, today we have another video. Today I'll be doing my phone collection video for the end of 2021. So yeah, let's get into this. I'll be going by brand. Starting off with Samsung, then going to Apple, then LG, then Motorola, then Nokia, then Blackberry, then HTC. Let me just fix these phones over here. Let me go over here to Samsung. I just have to find a spot to do this since it's a mess down here. Hold on. Sorry about that. I just had to move some things so I can make the video. Starting off at Samsung, we have a Samsung Transform on Sprint. This thing does not work, sadly. I think it's a motherboard issue. Then we have a Samsung GTS 3370. This thing does not work either. It's unlocked, which is kind of sad because it's a cool phone. Oh, my main phone is if you can even see it in the reflection, it's a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G. It's on Boost Mobile. Yeah, that's my main phone. And next up we have a Samsung S150G and track phone. This thing works perfectly fine. It's like in almost mint condition. And then we have a Samsung SGH S125G and track phone. This thing also works perfectly fine. Then we have a Samsung SGH A777 on AT&T. This thing also works perfectly fine. This thing has great battery life. I'll turn on the phones that have battery. Yeah, which most of them don't. I think it's only like 2 phones. Well, I actually turned off, so yeah. I'll open up the phones, the ones that can be opened at least. Then we have a Samsung SGH i760. Yeah, it's on Verizon. I don't have many good Samsung phones anymore because I smashed most of them earlier this year for no reason. Next up, we have a Samsung SCH i9, not I, why did I say I? SCH A930. This thing works perfectly fine, just has no battery. I'm just gonna have to take the battery out of the S125G just to hold up the phone. But I'll do that after this. This phone is a Samsung Gusto. It's on Verizon. It's untested. I still have not tested this yet because I keep forgetting to. But we just put the battery in that Samsung. Okay, now that phone can actually stand up now, that's good. So now moving on to Apple, we have an iPhone 4S. It's on AT&T. It's on iOS 9.3.5, I believe. And it's activation locked, which sucks. Both my iPhones are. My collection is very boring because it has like no nice phones in it, really. And then we have an iPhone 4S, also activation locked. They both have iClouds on them, obviously. Yeah, and this one's also an iOS 9.3.5. Then we have an iPod Touch, 4th gen. This thing works perfectly fine. The screen's in very bad shape in the back, but it still works perfectly fine. It's on iOS 6.1.6. And then we have a white... Oh, my hand's shaking. Sorry about that. Then we have a white iPod Touch, 4th generation, 8GB, almost mint condition on the back. It's just pretty mint condition for an iPod like this. I do not know the iOS because it's stuck in the restore to iTunes screen and I don't know how to get it off. Then we have an iPod Touch. They're both 8GB also. This is an 8GB, which is weird. This one's on Verizon, and I believe it's a 32 gigabyte, or I forget. This is a 32 gigabyte iPod Touch, 4th gen. This thing works perfectly fine. I just haven't turned it on in a while. It's on iOS 6.1.6. Then we have a not black. They only make this in one color. An iPod Touch 2nd gen, 8 gigabyte. It's on iOS 3.1.3. Which is pretty rare, because most of the time you'll find these on iOS 4.1.2, but I'm keeping it on this iOS version just because it does work perfectly fine, just stuck in the restore to iTunes screen. I do not know how to get it off either. So I'm not really an expert when it comes to Apple devices. Then we have an iPod Nano 3rd generation. It's an 8 gigabyte model. Then we have a 512 megabyte model iPod Shuffle 1st gen. They both work perfectly fine. All my Apple devices work. Now moving on to LG. Yeah, my old main phone, my LG Tribute Monarch on Boost Mobile. This thing works, it's just super slow. It's on Android 10. My phone I'm using right now is an Android 11. Then we have an LG Exalt 2 on Verizon. This thing works perfectly fine. And then next we have a LG Expression and AT&T. This thing works perfectly fine. Let me just move the phones over. Next up we have an LG Cosmos 2 on Verizon. This thing's stuck in a boot loop. I also haven't charged it long enough, but I know from someone in there's someone in a Discord server that told me that's a common issue for boot looping on the LG Cosmos 2. And then we have an LG Cosmos. This thing works perfectly fine. Then we have an LG VX8700. Sorry about all the noise, just a washer, and excuse the mess. Oh yeah, I already said it. It's an LG VX8700. It works perfectly fine. I believe it has battery life left on it. Yep, it does. I just don't have a charger for it. Then we have a LG VX. An LG VX. If I can ever open it. I don't know how I forgot the model number of this. Hold on. If I can ever... I want to zoom in. Okay, it's an LG VX 3200. It's untested. Then we have a LG VX 8360, I believe. Let me take the back off. This thing does not work. There we go. I don't care about this phone anyway. Yep. Yep. VX 8360. Now I can just put the battery back in. I hate this phone because it's in such bad shape. I'll at some point get rid of this. Sorry about any background noises. Oh, the hinge is broken on this. I forgot. Hold on. Yeah, that phone's a piece of crap. But now moving on to Motorola. We have a Motorola E2 on T-Mobile. This thing works perfectly fine. It's on Android 6.0.1. Marshmallow. Then we have a Motorola Droid X. Works perfectly fine. It's on Android 2.3.4 Gingerbread. That's a pretty cool phone. It's in mint condition. Then we have a Motorola I think it's an 815. Let me check. I don't know how I forgot the model number of this. Sorry if I keep having to cut the video. Yeah, it's a Motorola E815. I was just struggling to get the back on, but I got it back on, finally. Moving on, we have a Motorola i580 on Nextel. That's on Verizon. This thing does not work. This thing's untested. Then moving on, we have a Motorola i730. It's untested. It's on Nextel. Then we have a Motorola Time Port. I do not know the carrier or the model number for it. We going on the Blackberry after Nokia. Moving on to Nokia, we have a Nokia Lumia 730, 830 on AT&T. It works perfectly fine. I do not know the Windows version. Then we have a Nokia Lumia 530. I do not know the Windows version either. And I do not know the carrier either to this. Then we have a Nokia 3360 on Singular. Does not work. We have a Nokia 2128i on Verizon, untested. And we have a Nokia 8260 on AT&T, untested. And we have a Nokia 100AU on Bell Antic, which is like some sort of Australian carrier. I do not know. This thing is untested also. And we have a we now moving on the Blackberry. A Blackberry Curve 9330. This thing is untested. I forgot to say I had no battery, but I also found that out after the fact, so there won't be a second review on it. Then we have a Blackberry Curve 9330, and this one's untested. And then we have a Blackberry Curve 8310. This thing is also untested. Or actually does not work, I should say, because it's very bad. It's in very bad shape. Okay, now moving on to HTC. We have an HTC Desire 626S on Boost Mobile. This thing, those are on Verizon. That's an AT&T. This thing does not. Wait, how am I saying does not? This thing does work perfectly fine. It's an Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. And it's on Boost Mobile. And then we have a HTC Fuse, or an AT&T Fuse on AT&T, obviously. And it works perfectly fine. It's on Windows Mobile 6.1. We have another one. It's also on Windows Mobile 6.1. Okay, moving on to brands that don't have enough to be their own brand, or at least in their own category. We have a Doro Phone Easy 626. Does not work, sadly. Then we have the phone I just unboxed yesterday, a Huawei Inspira on Track Phone or Net 10. It was packaged as Net 10. I still have the box for it. I did keep it, as you saw in the thumbnail of that video. If you have not watched it, I'll link it in the description. Then we have a Sharp FX Plus on AT&T. This thing, it does work, but I still need a battery for it. I guess it kind of works. I'm just moving all the phones out of the way so they don't bump into each other. Then we have a Kyocera S2300. Oh, and that's on Android 4.0.4. Android 4.0.4 ice cream sandwich. I just put the Google Nexus background on it, why not? Then we have a Kyocera S2300 on Common Sense Mobile. I think it was like a carrier by Sprint. It's like prepaid. This thing I did not know the Android version too, so I can't get it to go past the one screen, which I forgot what that screen was. I think the battery screen. Then we have a Casio GZ1 or G-Zone, whatever you want to call it, Brigade. It's on Verizon. This is an AT&T. I already said that. This thing is untested. I do not have a charger for it. But it's a pretty cool folder phone. Then we have a AudioVox or UT Starcom CDM8940. This thing is untested. I have a lot of untested phones, but most of them were. We have a Panasonic KX TGA 652. It's obviously unlocked. It's a house phone. We're cordless. And we have a Palm PDA. It's a M100. I don't know if this works. I just have it. And we have a pretty cool MP3 player. I don't know, just a fake iPod. And we have a phone I've never shown yet. It's the world's smallest phone. One of. It's an L8 Star BM70. And it actually does work. It's a real phone. But now it's battery low. Now it's gonna shut off the phones that I just turned on. Or that I turned on. Okay. Oh. Okay, this one's off. Last but not least, this one. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please go give it a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And yeah, guys, as always, peace.